sentiment of togetherness, oneness. Togetherness and oneness. Ultimately, it comes to that. And Dr. Ambedkar says that nationality is a consciousness of kind. Consciousness of kind. And Dr. Ambedkar very clearly says that nationalism is nothing but the longing to belong. This word he very clearly uses. The longing to belong. And if you get this reference, he wrote this particular thing in his essay called as What Congress and Gandhi Has Done to the Untouchables. Dr. Ambedkar very clearly says that the longing to belong is called nationalism. And this nationalism, if you cannot find, even if you belong to the same culture, that if that longing to belong is not there, you cannot have nationalism. And Dr. Ambedkar says, even if you speak the same language, if that longing to belong is not there, you cannot have a nationalist feeling. Dr. Ambedkar says that if you belong to the same religion, if that longing to belong is not there, you cannot formulate a nationalism in this particular. So that longing to belong, when will that be there in the society? When will be that there? That will be there in the society. It has to be consciously built up. But the point is, first of all, you should have a society. First of all, you should have a society. And Dr. Ambedkar starts with a premise saying that if you go to the Roundtable Conference 1, my dear friends, in Indian context, it was only during the Roundtable Conferences the reference of citizenship came up. Before that, nobody talked about citizenship in this country. The reference or the discussion on citizenship in India came up only in 1930s. Not before that. But what was happening till 1930s? 1885 they started the, what is that? 1885 they started the Congress Party. By Annie Besant from Madras, she started saying that radical nationalism. Annie Besant was writing on radical nationalism. She started with that. In 1885 they started, and the arguments of citizenship came up only in 1930s, 31. And though they are also started by Dr. Ambedkar. He argues, he talks of the aspect of citizenship. So therefore, my dear friends, in this country, what Dr. Ambedkar says is, you cannot have a nationalist feeling or national feeling or that kind of a nationalism if you do not have a society. If you do not have a society. And point blank he says that India do not have a society at all. Even today we do not have society. No. We have got multitudes of societies in the name of caste. We have multitudes of societies in the name of caste. And that's why Dr. Ambedkar said, I repeat again, Brahminism in instituting caste system has put the greater impediment against the growth of nationalism. He says caste is directly, and Dr. Ambedkar says, we can be a notion. He came to Chennai in a meeting which was held in Prabhat Talkies. I don't know what it is right now. Dr. Ambedkar spoke in the Kanamera Hotel. He spoke in Prabhat Talkies. I don't know what, it must have turned into different. And he was given civil reception. In 1944, September 26, Dr. Ambedkar, here in Chennai, he is giving a statement. I quote. He says that we can be a nation only through social amalgamation. This is what Dr. Ambedkar said, unquote. In Chennai he is saying that we can be a nation only through social amalgamation. Unless there is no social amalgamation, India cannot have, it cannot be a nation, it cannot have nationalist feelings, you cannot have a nation building on its own foundations. And this is what Dr. Ambedkar very clearly talking about that. So therefore, my dear friends, he says that, there should be a kind of a nation. Before that, there must be a built-up of society. So that's why Dr. Ambedkar, before in the Constituent Assembly, when these people they have met in 1948, that is called as a Constituent Assembly of Objective Resolution. There was Mr. Nehru was there, Madan Mohan Malaya was there, all constituents. After 1947, when British went away, there was a transfer of power. Everybody talks about freedom at midnight. It was not freedom at all. It was only a transfer of power. Basically, the British people, in fact, even in 1946 itself, they have made a resolution in their parliament that after the First World War they will leave this country. They did not, it's not freedom in midnight. In the midnight they did not pack everything, lock, stock and barrel, they did not run away. It was because of transfer of power they went away, okay. After that, a government has been formed. That government is not Congress government, it is a national government. In that, every political party has their participation, including the communists that time. So this national government has constituted the Constituent Assembly. And in that Constituent Assembly, 1948 September, everybody has sat together and they were deciding what should be the objective of writing a constitution for India. What should be the objective of writing a constitution for India? Of course, Nehru basically is a flamboyant guy. He's always a great letter writer. He always like a kind of a flamboyant romantic guy. He was saying that I want this country. If you refer to the Constituent Assembly speeches, you will find this fellow is talking off his sleeve. I want this country to move forward. I want liberty, equality, fraternity in all walks of life. So then Ambedkar said, okay, Mr. Nehru, everything is fine, but then how to go about with that? Okay, liberty should be there. No one is denying that fact. There must be equality, fine. And Ambedkar is the only one. Dr. Ambedkar is an economist, basically. Ambedkar is the only one who talks about, along with equality, there must be equity. He is the only one who is talking about that. Nobody was talking about that time. Those people who talked about economic nationalism, they were also not talking about equity. Equality is equality of status. Equity is, what is equity? Equity is the equal distribution of resources. So Ambedkar always talked about equality and equity. So he said, Ambedkar said, yes, that should also be there. But probably, my dear friends, that was the only speech Dr. Ambedkar gave extempore. Otherwise, Ambedkar is a very, very systematic personality. He always makes his speeches well prepared. He well prepares speeches. That was the only speech. He says that I have come unprepared, this is my extempore. But that is one of the best speeches that Dr. Ambedkar has given. In that thing, Dr. Ambedkar says, what is the objective of writing this constitution? He says that, Ambedkar says that, our difficulty is how to make these heterogeneous communities come together and accept to live as one single society. This is what he says. Our difficulty is how to make these heterogeneous groups as castes. They were living as castes. People are living as castes as their own societies. And Dr. Ambedkar one time says, the castes are nations. People live in caste and then die in caste, and everything starts up and ends up with a caste. Because the Brahminical system, which is called caste system, it makes three things. It is ordering, it undergoes three processes. It makes ordering, bordering, and then othering. I think so, as one side is you can understand this. Caste system obviously orders. High, low and all, unequal ordering it does. Second thing is bordering. It borders. See, like in the sense, I am here, maybe I am a fisherman from Andhra Pradesh. I do not have anything with the fishermen of this part of Mukwar, I don't know. We are of the same society, we do the same thing. Our problems are the same, similar, but we are bordered. If not the state borders of this particular thing, maybe there are borders otherwise. Never before in this country, these people are together. So, there is ordering, there is bordering, and there is othering. Others, my caste, other caste. There is always a conflict between these two, these three aspects. So, this compartmentalization has been there, mental, social, political, and almost say economic. So, Dr. Ambedkar says how to make these heterogeneous communities come together and accept to live as a single society. Then he says our difficulty is not with regard to the ultimate, but difficulty is with regard to the beginning. He starts that as the goal of the constitution, and he could, with great difficulty, put that goal in the constitution in Article 38. If you refer to the Article 38, there is a great responsibility put on the state. A great responsibility has been kept on the state. Do anybody knows about Article 38? Article 38 states that the state shall secure and protect a social order